Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Yesterday on the show, we teased the fact that Oscar's father is settling his affairs. Not that he's going anywhere. He's in fine health. He's 80, which nowadays is, it's the big 90 where, you're counting the hours pretty much. By the way, I'm just being realistic. I'm being realistic.
Mike, what the hell?
And by the time you hit 90, my mom
Mike
died at 95. We got another dead celebrity in the news today that died around 95.
Yeah.
And if you smoke cigarettes, you die younger. But other than that, when it's like, what's your birthday? Oh, I've got my 95th coming up, and it's going to be... I really look at that if I am fortunate and there are no diseases that, that countdown
Mike,
in the 90s. If I make it to 90, I will have felt that was a spectacularly long life.
This is great news. 30 years ago, okay, just think back 30 years ago. 80 was a pretty good run, right? 80 is, you say, life well lived. Well, it's going to be 30 years before you're 90. So by the time you're 90, it's going to be, you'll live to 100. People are living longer as time goes on.
Well, I mean,
Carla's
death has
hearing this
been
right
on my
now.
mind.
And crying.
What's that?
I said Carla's hearing this right now and crying.
Yeah, she looked at an
No,
actuarial
she's
table.
prepared. She won't cry when I die.
No, she looked at an actual. No, it's not it's the living that makes her cry.
It's the time that you're going to be around.
She just doesn't have that chip. She didn't cry when we got engaged. She doesn't have that chip. She's just kind of like, oh, you've lived such a good life. I know. I'll look into her dead eyes, and that's,
maybe when you asked her, she's like, "You're asking me now when you've lost everything."
Yeah,
maybe that.
No,
was
she. You mean like when I die penniless?
No, when you
when you
got engaged. Remember she married you.
Oh,
when
she
you had
married me
nothing.
right after the. Did I propose? I think I
Yes.
proposed when I had a job.
Well, you proposed that they not fire you, and that was a no.
Yeah.
And then you
We all
proposed to her,
that.
and
We all
she
proposed
said
that.
yes.
No, I knew I was getting fired when I. Two things happened when I knew I was going to get fired.
Yeah.
Number one was Sam Rogers showing up 35 minutes late to
Never
what's
forget.
that joint?
Good
what's
guy.
that joint we all had?
Artie's.
Artie's.
Yes.
Artie's in Fairfax, Virginia,
Mhm.
and I'm sitting on my ass for 35 minutes. Like, well, that's kind of an FU, and I don't have to worry about that dick. Kept me waiting for that amount of times, and then Oscar told me when we
Yeah,
were
I
getting
did
the
tell me.
axe.
Yeah,
Oscar gave me the
Give him
heads
the
up
heads up.
because Oscar was plugged in that way. Oscar was the networker, knew likes to be in the.
In
And
the
then you called me, I recall. And you know what, Mike? I can put it in place. I believe your engagement came after the firing because there was a party that you had, an engagement party. And I remember when I RSVP'd, it was the first time I'd made you laugh in like 3 weeks. You picked up the phone and I said, "Hi, it's Rob Spiewak. We used to work together."
I remember that line. That was fantastic line. That was it's still funny today.
Yeah.
That's
only
almost
been
funny
like
as
2
my
weeks.
college buddy that I saw one time at a hockey game, and I walked him and he said there, we're up in the cheap seats. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "I'm between my first job." Which was a great line. So where was I? I don't even know what I was talking about. I've been crazy doing new things for the show that
No, we
will
were
be coming
talking
up
about
soon.
how
We're very
Carla
excited.
was going. She heard that you're going to be around for another
death.
40
That's right.
years.
Yeah, because she looked
We're
at a
talking
bad
about your
actuarial
dad.
table.
It
Yeah.
was your dad, then it was death, and then yesterday when I read my father's obit, and I got some very nice messages online, and it did get me. It's every 2 to 3 years now.
Cycle.
I'll have an anniversary of his death where I get sad, and sometimes it catches me by surprise.
Sure.
I thought I got it out of my system yesterday, and I'm watching The Blind Side. The Sandra
great
Bullock
film.
movie
Great
about
film.
Michael Orr, the
Sure.
Ravens offensive tackle, and I'm beginning to blubber a little bit, and I'm like, I've never cried like this at this, and I'm like sitting there. Oh, it's that. I said it's just everything emotional, and then when you do a breakdown of The Blind Side, that is a movie about white privilege, really, when you think about it.
Which character did you empathize with in that movie?
Is it not now, when you look at that movie, is it not so? Oh, you get that idea. There's a name for it. I don't think I know the name for it. When it's the white savior movie.
Yeah.
And it's
I know what you're talking about. I don't want to speak out of school, though, and name a term that I'm not aware of. Like, I don't know exactly. But I know what you're talking about.
I know. There's a term for it.
Yeah.
And
movies.
also, and in the Blind Side.
It's where the black guy gets rescued, like driving Miss Daisy. And we didn't realize until somebody identified it that these Hollywood movies always have this storyline to make white people feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is the class. Even though it's based
on a true story.
It's based on a true story.
Yes.
But they certainly make it out to be,
It's like not a documentary?
It's not a and he's out of the league now.
Yes.
Right.
He got banged up and he's out of the league. But he's doing some good work, and I think a lot of people, I'm not alone, where I did a deep dive on Michael Orr, and he's got an app started where he's kind of helping people do what was done for him and all that. So anyway.
But it's a subtly told story with lots of careful.
Now, anything you have Tim McGraw as the dad,
Good
it's like a Lifetime movie.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You were weeping at the Blind Side. What part got you?
His terrible situation.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
His terrible situation, which is really sad at the beginning, and I'm sure based in a lot of reality that he bounced around from foster home to foster home. But it's I think the term that's used is white guilt.
Yes, thank you.
With all
nice
this,
pull.
but the thing.
Have you been weepier also because of the pandemic? Do you think? Do you think that's not part of it?
No, I've been angrier because of the pandemic.
But that can bring
I'm
weepy.
angry, and I've been more hypocritical because of the pandemic.
Okay,
I'm the world's biggest hypocrite. If you followed a camera around, you heard this show, and then you followed me around, and saw me go into a place after I've had too many cocktails, you go, "What are you doing? What are you doing there?" I'm lucky. I've dodged a few bullets.
Mike used to be Captain COVID, but get a couple Miller Lights in him, and it's back to the old.
No,
school.
but I said when I watched your 60 Minutes, I said that's it. We got to really redouble our efforts because that made me think that at the finish line would be. I can't even imagine what a tragedy that would be to snare
for that to happen
and get really sick.
Oh man!
And I feel I'm starting to feel that optimism again about the old COVID. I'm starting to feel like maybe they have their act together. Starting to hear about drugstores being shipped these things. Starting to think, okay, maybe it's of course on the map. They were shipped out to drugstores, not in our town. Not here, not in the great state of Florida. And by the way, Florida will be featured throughout the show today.
A theme?
You can enjoy that. But back to Oscar, okay?
Yes.
Because this is Oscar's segment the front about Oscar and his family, his very complicated family, and everything that's being done for you. Are you okay, first of all? Are you? Because you have a little bit of resting bitch face today.
I am great. No,
do you believe him, Rob? Do you believe him?
I dyed my beard.
He has no more RBH
so
than
it's a little more pronounced.
Yes, I think he looks fine. He's just ready to get to the audio vault, his favorite part of the show.
Yes,
that's all. He's excited.
My father is he's a very kind man, and he's also been very diligent and respectful of his finances. Because when you come from nothing, you're scared of losing everything.
Right.
So much so that my brother found out. I can't believe I tell this stuff about my family. They're going to kill me one day. They're just going to kill me.
Hey, I do the same thing.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll say it. My brother calls me with a hot call a little after New Year's and says, "Hey, you know where Dad's will is and everything, right?" I said, "Yeah." I was like, "He showed me a few years ago. It's on Bolivian paper in his office."
What is Bolivian paper?
It's just it's that. So I'm.
It's like onion skin.
I know. I believe
is it made of leaves?
That in Bolivia, they still sell paper that has some sort of asbestos in it. So when he comes back from Bolivia, he's got a different type of paper on his little notepads that I don't see in the States.
Let me try to save you. Does the paper feel especially thick?
It feels like it's got a chemical residue on it for some reason.
Jesus.
Yes.
Well,
wow.
Maybe it is a good thing he's got his papers in order.
He might have bought his notepads at some sort of Bolivian outdoor bazaar, so it might be dusty paper, and that's the way I look at it.
What does that have to do with your brother calling you, though?
Because he's asking me about it, and I said, "Yeah, it's on the Bolivian paper. Let me go look at it." Right? And then I start reading it out to my brother because my brother's probably the most tapped in on like estate, I guess, planning. And
because he's got some shekels, he's got some moolah.
The rest of us have never really had money, so we don't know what estate planning is, but he does.
Right.
And he probably doesn't want a big headache when my father buys the farm. So
the last thing you want is a combination of grief and a headache.
If you speak Oscar, Rob, did you read between the lines right there? That his brother is pretty tapped in, that he thinks about. Now, he said, but we're not. That means that I know his sister has money too, but he ignored that part because his sister doesn't worry about details like that.
She's in California, in sunny California.
That's right. But she's not.
No,
she doesn't sweat those details either, right?
No.
Well, because has she ever had to sweat details?
I don't want my father to die. I'm not thinking about my father dying. It's a sad thought, right? So I make jokes about it.
When your brother called, could you hear him licking his lips?
No.
What did he want you to check the will out for?
He wanted to make sure that it was notarized, everything was fine, and
everything was in order.
Yes.
Okay.
So my father worked for public health, so he has a pretty sizable pension, the 30 years he put in. And if you're lucky to have a pension, it's pretty amazing, right?
Sure.
So they don't make them like they used to these days.
Will your mother, if he predeceases her, would she get the pension? Would the pension continue to be?
She would only get it if my dad filled out the paperwork for her to get it.
Ah.
Yes.
And as long as he does that prior to his death, that's okay?
Correct.
What about the other family? Does the other family get the pension?
Why do you when I'm really trying to fucking move along the show and get this and you have to last word me, I swear to God, you make the top of my head explode. That's when I don't want to follow up Shecky question.
All right.
I'm really trying to get, and then we can do all the shtick we want. I just want to get some pertinent information here.
Sorry.
Without every single thing I say with a follow-up question from Rob.
My apologies.
We'll get to that later.
Yes. Thank you.
So, my father this past Sunday said, your brother's coming down. We have business to talk about. And at the dinner table, I said, yes, I've got my Amazon wish list for your estate. And he looked at me, not laughing, but concerned. And I said, Dad.
Can I stop you?
Yes,
And I'm sorry, now I'm doing what I say. But the question I was asking, because it got muddled there.
No problem.
She will, had he filled out the paperwork for her to continue?
He had not. That was the red alert, the alarm that went off in my brother's world. And then he called my father and said, Papa, how come you haven't filled out this paperwork for old mom to, be taken care of on the other side? He goes, well, for some reason, I don't feel like I'm going to die soon. And so but that's not the point, right? No one wants to die soon. It's just a matter of dealing with that. Mm-hmm. So my brother's coming down so we can throw him in the back of the car and drive him up to, World Health WHO headquarters and have him sign some papers, just like the mob.
Oh, when's he coming down?
He's coming down February 19th.
So you have to take him to WHO to get it done? You can't do it?
He could do it remotely. It's just, but that's how I feel like we're strong arming my dad to realize that he has some sort of, life expectancy, and his expiration date's getting closer and closer.
Get in the back of the car. Done. Yeah, get in the back of the car.
All right. That's what I wanted to know, Rob. That's what I wanted to find out.
Yeah. Yes.
So he didn't do it. He can do it.
Yes.
And when he goes, there will be a stream of income that will be there for your mother.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. All right.
And my mom hasn't thought twice about this, and I really haven't either, because, again, sad thoughts. But for me, when you ask your youngest about, these important matters, though I'm, 41, now 42, he asked me like it's like a big deal. It's always been a big deal. Like it's like something you don't really want to do with your family.
Brother?
My father. My father asked me. Like it's like we have a big meeting.
He acts like it's no big deal.
He acts like it's a big deal. I make it seem like it's not a big deal because I don't want to get sad about the whole situation.
Well, yeah, you sort of set the table
confused.
for
Can
that.
Can you translate for me, Rob? I'm trying to figure out.
Is that this whole deal of getting the estate together, since it's largely been done because he's been taking care of it his whole life, essentially, as Oscar said. But this one added piece to it, he's assigning a lot of weight to it to the point where he called Oscar, and Oscar's father said, there's going to be a meeting this weekend.
His father or both of you?
My father called me.
The father called Oscar, and he said, instead of just, your brother's coming into town so we can take care of some details, he stated it, we're going to have a meeting.
Like it's a big family meeting.
Yeah, like it's a huge
deal. Your father has taken this opportunity with your brother coming into town.
He was strong-armed by my brother, yes.
he was strong-armed to fill out this paperwork. The one question that pops into my mind was that ever the thought in the back of your mind that he hadn't filled out the paperwork because perhaps he'd filled it out for somebody else?
Well, Mike, I joke about it, but we shall find out, right? Because if all of a sudden the paperwork's been submitted already, we don't know.
Mike, this is how the conversation went. Papa, did you fill out the paperwork to put the pension in Mom's name? And his father said, look at the clouds.
But that aside,
yes,
and I'll give you, I'm 99% sure that's not the case, but I've been wrong in the past.
Sure.
And so I go into my phone and I'm like, Dad, I've made a list of the things I want from your estate. If we can get detailed, is there like a little comments list where things can go to people? And do you have a will, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you have it listed of what goes to like little Michael or is it all laid out? I don't know how these things work because
the little Michael part, yes, but probably very little, specified.
I gotcha. Gotcha.
I mean, I'm really not sure.
It's understood in our house. The kids know which microphones they want each, and Julia gets the records, but Robert gets the jukebox.
Got it. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
So I asked my father. He said, "What's on your list? What's on your list?" And I said, "Well, if I may be so bold,
oh dear,
I have been taking care of Mom now since you've left us about a decade ago. So I feel like your desk is a beautiful wooden desk. I'd love that desk. It would remind me of you.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And then I said,
okay
is it a Patek? What is it? What kind of watch is it? A Patek Philippe or something like that?
Patek Philippe? Is that the name of the watch?
Yes.
Okay.
I said I would like that watch.
That's okay.
And then I said,
Father's watch. That's
I was like, and then you have that gold Rolex that you don't really wear that much. I would like that watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Mercedes, the one of two you own, is in the
okay. Now you're getting a little greedy.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm telling him all this stuff.
Did the list end with "and a house to keep them in"?
No. I was so detailed on the things because I know what my father values and cares about because he doesn't let you touch it, use it, run it. He doesn't let you do anything with it, and he just doesn't. So everything I named is things he loves and takes care of, like his techniques, like Bristol, a record player, everything. So I mentioned all of these things.
Okay.
And I thought he was going to like completely blow up because what I'm seeing on his face is like, you're just like, this is all I mean to you. I'm the money tree. Like all these things. Like, because
really, is that the way he's looking at you?
He's looking at me, right?
Right.
Because he's got this RBF, but concerned RBF.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And he says, at the end of the whole conversation, he's like, let me tell you something. If this is all you think about, I'm going to make sure I live till I'm 150.
Oh my God! Snap!
Yeah, because Oscar, what I would get if I put myself in his place, I'm not seeing it as greed.
Yes.
I'm seeing it more as calculating.
Oh,
and that to me is worse than greed.
Well, that's the Oscar business side of
No,
things.
I was just
and the
doing
planning.
shtick. Like I was like, this is no big deal. People do estate plans all the time. I don't want to talk about this now. Like, this is bad timing.
Yeah, I was the exact same. I know that. I've been there. I've lived it.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. No, Dad. And towards the end, my dad was telling me by the way, that's when you know. I want you to have this. I want you to have. A lot of people do that, and they should. They should give stuff to people. Carla wears a necklace from my mom that she cherishes, that she still has, and that she really, really loves. But that's when, I think at 80 in good health, yeah, he feels like you're jumping the gun. I get that. Nobody wants to die. That's the way it works.
Really needs two watches.
You get a call from Catherine when you're 80.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she calls a family meeting. So it's Catherine, it's Elizabeth, it's Michael. And they're all there, and you're still spry, and you're moving along, and somehow you've beat every ailment known to man.
Michael's 26.
And
it's funny to think about.
And they're strong-arming you to update your will for detail, so there are no fights.
Yeah.
How are you going to feel?
Right. Bad.
Right?
Yeah, inevitable.
Yeah,
But probably
yeah.
at 90, you'd feel the same way. I get it.
Yeah, but
so
if
what
you're
the hell is
healthy-
Jose doing with pushing with all this? Come on.
Well, I think that my brother is where he is in life because he's willing to do the tough things and the uncomfortable
absolutely.
things, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I appreciate that. So at that point, when my dad gave me the whole like, I'm gonna outlive you, son, because you're a greedy little bastard. I said, Dad, I was like, this joke has gone awry. I was like, let's talk about Jose. Like, why is he pushing you into doing all these things? I don't know.
Excellent
So
deflection.
you were doing shtick with
Yes, I was just doing shtick. Just shtick. I don't want
So
anything
did you
for him
think
except
when
for
he
him to
was
be
telling
alive.
us that he was doing shtick, Rob? I didn't know.
I thought he was
doing
pretty
shtick.
serious, and I think it landed on us the way it landed on his pop. It's like,
Right.
okay,
I
you've
would
gi-
live to 150, you bastard, you greedy bastard, right now.
I see you have given this much time and thought.
Does he get that you were joking? Did he smile at all or
He
laugh
does.
about
I
it,
said
or
the
what?
only reason I know about all this stuff is because we were never allowed to touch it when we were kids. We were never allowed to do things to your stuff when we were kids. And every time something happened, you'd ask us if we've touched your stuff. Like, I know you care about your stuff, and it's your stuff.
Don't touch his stuff.
I'm fine
Oscar.
with that. I was like, Dad, I don't care about your estate. Like, I appreciate everything you've done for us. And all I care about is Mom being taken care of, and I think that's what Jose needs to do, but I think he's being pushy about it. So I threw my brother on the bus.
Good.
Good. Well, that's then maybe when it really does come. Did you have your family meeting yet?
No, it's going to be on the 19th, and there is no detail in his will. It's just, man, I'm really giving up all the detail. Oh, Jesus. Because
That's all right.
And it becomes a little, I guess, tenuous if you really look at it, because my father owns a place in Argentina. They have a home in Bolivia, so it's like it's going to be complicated.
Have you
Right?
been to the
So-
place in Argentina?
Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Remote broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
We'll
that be
never come
awkward
back.
though? Because he'd not want us to like soil the place or anything.
Ah,
Like that.
Well, you
Depends.
couldn't. You could do a broadcast. You just can't touch his record player.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't
right.
touch
Is
his
it a nice
stuff.
joint down in Argentina?
Yeah, it's nice, but it's also in Argentina. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, Argentina's
that's
a cool
okay.
place to visit. People go
I
on
did.
vacations there.
One time, it was awesome, and then we
Really?
came
So
back.
you liked it?
How old were
I
you
loved it
when you went?
I was 23.
a good Argentinian.
So
age.
where does this stand right now?
He's
Where does
still
everything
alive.
stand? Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Still
you.
alive.
But he will. He knows that to continue. The thing I would think that would be the most important
Yeah.
would be if there is a pension, a lifetime pension.
Yeah,
take
can you
care of
imagine?
that.
I don't even know where
For
you'd
the
find one
spouse.
these days for something like that. It's crazy.
That's very rare.
Yeah.
It's very rare for anybody to get a pension while they're living, much less one that transfers over to the spouse.
Yes.
You know, and is your mom aware of this pension?
My mom. Oh, this is a quick sidebar. Same day, same conversation. My dad. My mom swears my dad's trying to sell the house from underneath her to put her in Leisure World, and this has been going on for 2 years. And
To put her in Leisure World?
yeah, because why does she need that big house?
Because he's
for
traveling
just
the
her,
world,
right? And
So he's trying to sell the only house without her knowledge.
So this has been going an ongoing bit for like maybe a decade since she's left us.
any proof? Does she cite examples of what he's doing, or is it just sort of a gaslight paranoia?
You
Oscar,
tell,
there was someone that drove by the house again with binoculars.
you tell me.
Yes.
Because my father this past week went to go visit his friend at Leisure World and came back with a bunch of pamphlets and then was giving Shannon and I the big sell on like, I finally got a chance to visit so-and-so, Dr. So-and-so in Leisure World. Did you know that they have X, X, and X? And then for $800, you get access to the Olympic-sized pool, spa. Like he's laying it all out. Like he's selling us a condo.
There is a man-made lake with a fountain inside.
Do you think he maybe wants to move in there?
No, he wants to move my mom in there. And I hear it from the corner of the kitchen, maybe like, I would say 20 yards away. Cuando estoy muerta! Which means when I'm dead, I'll go to Leisure World.
So he wants to go back to South America.
Oh, yeah. He got
When
the
it's
vaccine.
time
and
for
started
him to go to the happy
He
hunting
got the
ground.
vaccine and planned his trip. Like he got that shot, and then next thing he's on orbits. Like that's what he does. So the
This
reason
is the equivalent of putting your mom in a dog crate. He knows he can go out. She is crate trained. He can go to La Paz and
And
just
your mom
crate her.
does not want to go to an assisted living
No,
facility.
No, she doesn't. She's her entire life. That's all she just wants to live in her house. I remember at
When
one
I'm
point.
dead.
Yeah, when
Cuando
I'm dead, you put me
vete.
there. So
You know, I
he's-
just would hope that when your mom gets a little older, if she was, in need of having some help, there would be some relative that would be able to move into the house to take care of her.
I move into Olney right now. I have no holdups on living with my mom. You know who
You ever
doesn't?
talked about it with her?
Yes, she said, "Come on over," but old City Kitty says no.
Okay.
Shannon.
All right.
The
Shannon,
city kitty, Mike.
Can't imagine why she doesn't want to move in with your mother. Oh, God.
It's a big house.
I can't imagine why. I mean, you know.
She
they
just
don't
watches her
exactly-
stories in her room. We'd never see her.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
It's complicated. Is there
Oh,
anything?
my God.
Yeah, what
is there
about
anything
Shannon
else?
has
So-
to continue her Carrie Bradshaw life.
So the outlier is is my brother says, "Hey, you know those jokes you make on your show, like basically demeaning our show about Dad having multiple families?" He goes, "What are the odds when we have that Zoom funeral when it's international that like a few brothers and sisters pop up?" And I said,
Oh, no.
I hadn't really talked about this with you or anybody else for the guys on the show. And I said he did come through like 3 years ago with a cousin of ours that was at Ohio State University, and I eyeballed him. He did look nothing like Dad, so I think we might be okay.
Wow. But there is that question mark.
I
That
mean,
forever
can you
question mark.
imagine? Like, why would you put your family through that? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a traveling salesman, but he's an epidemiologist. Like, he does so good for the world, so much good, right?
Right.
That it's like but inside his interpersonal life, you wonder what's going
wonder
on.
what's
out
going
there.
on.
What's
Yeah.
going on down there?
Any
Sure.
family, and before we're done with this,
Yes.
any family member in all these years ever decide to maybe just hop on a plane to go down and surprise him?
A pop in?
A pop in?
Oh,
you know,
my
just, I mean, I
God.
know it's a long way to go for a pop in.
Like a secret shopper for a store, but you're shopping for your family.
Exactly.
You know, you're just going down to see, all right, let's follow him for a couple of days.
Yeah.
See what's going or hire a Bolivian PI.
My brother went down there. He
El
said everything
Rockford.
looked good.
Everything
He went
looked
down
good,
there
like he was-
3 years ago. My mom was there, but it's like
Well, your mom was there. He's not going to live as, you know.
That's true.
That's why you need to do El Poppin'. It needs to
El
be a
Poppin'.
surprise. Yeah.
All right.
El
I
Poppin'.
like it. Look, El Poppin', New Year, when the vaccine's in play and everybody's healthy, I'm going down for the El Poppin'.
Really?
Yeah.
The El Poppin'.
Going to go down there?
Bring
to,
a Comrex.
Yeah.
You know how everyone always says that the best things in life are free? Well, that's just communism infiltrating American culture. In America, we pay for things because if we don't, the commies are going to replace every American flag with the hammer and sickle. Do you, our loyal listener, want your independent wealth stolen by Soviet ideals? I think not. So buy the Mike O'Mara bonus show. Pay for your entertainment, like a red-blooded American should. Thank you.
The best of O'Mara.
Mike, may I say something real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm really enjoying our time together.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I just figured sometimes you got to say something positive, you know?
Well,
and like,
I'll
I was feeling the moment. I was like,
You know what?
It's fun.
Let me give this back to you. And this is, in a roundabout way, what I'm going to say now is going to be self-serving. All right. So this is going to be a big circle, and I'm going to say this, but it's going to come back to me because I learned something about myself that I'm going to say something I don't normally say a lot of, something positive about me. And then we'll get to the story about how it's not positive about me and that I don't fit the mold.
balance.
All right, here goes. The job that I do, hosting a radio program with Rob and Oscar every day, I learned something both last week and this week. We've been doing live shows. Oscar was off for a week. I was off for a week and a half. Rob is off this week. Both of you guys, within a week's period, have shared with me stories about your lives. And both of them have been very lengthy and very compelling. And Rob was talking about Ringo Starr. When he started talking about it, I said, there's no way I'm going to listen to a guy, I think it was on the bonus show, talk about the Ringo concert and not mock him immediately. And he was so good about describing this concert and how much fun he had and how the details. And we ended up just sitting there for the bulk of an hour talking about this concert, and I was enthralled by it. And his joy was contagious, and I was happy about it. Flash forward to yesterday on the show. You talk about going up to Kennebunkport and spending an afternoon with the Bush family. And once again, I'm sitting there. I'm enthralled once again. And I said to my wife last night, I said, both totally different experiences, but both these guys very skillful at storytelling and sharing their experiences. And both times I realized that I always like to say that I'm capable of feeling happiness and joy for other people because, how do I dance around this? Because early in my career, I was not necessarily the recipient of that kind of joy, which means when I would share something that was very important to me and very special, and obviously a moment, I did not feel like it was that there was anybody who was sharing in that. Well, the answer to that is on both counts, the Ringo and the George Bush. I was sharing in that, and I think maybe because of that to a certain degree, the listeners were getting the vibe out of that as well.
Agreed.
And I looked at myself and I said, okay, I think I got a little of my old man in me where I'm enjoying that just about as much as anything that I do. And I think that's why we may all have been hanging around for the better part of a decade.
We celebrate each other's.
Because you get that. You can't fake that. You can't fake that I'm sitting there. Last night, I'm on. Now, in your case, no, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to say it reflects well on the show. No, it was your thing, and I go, and I'm doing a deep dive, and I'm looking at all these old pictures of Bush on the lawn and on his boat, and I realize he's gone through several incarnations of these wonderful speedboats that he's got, and I'm thinking about you going into the harbor and having a lobster roll with the Bush family and how they've endeared you, and I'm saying to Carla, well, I can see why they want Oscar to be around, because that's it. Oscar knows the room. You've always known the room. You always know how to handle yourself in whatever situation, and I've reaped the benefits of that. And with Rob, I've always admired that he loves these concerts. So the point I'm trying to make, as it gets back to me, is that I was really, really happy. It's like, hey, Carla, I really am capable of feeling joy for other people. That's exactly.
Yes.
That's what I said with that. Because I was really happy about that. Yeah.
I'm human.
But I must say, I must say this, that then I get back to the things that I really, so that's a revelation, because sometimes or it's that I care for you guys on that level, that I enjoyed it so much. I think that might have more to do with it. If somebody's a real hump and wants to share something special that happened to him, no, that's not true. I feel joy for some of the guys that go on a great trip and they want to share it, and that's I mean, even if I think the person's a bit of a hump, well, I'm okay. So I'm capable.
May I just share this? That I think that your traditional world of broadcasting and this hyper competitiveness,
right,
and can create an atmosphere of toxicity at times where you do not celebrate each other's accomplishments,
right?
Or you whether, like, I really, in fairness, I look at this experience that I had last week as a collective win for our entire family. Podcast Village, the Mike O'Mara Show, and the idea that I could speak openly about that type of project and not feel like I'm going to be mocked, and real questions will be asked, and I'm comfortable enough to say, okay, this is what happened. If you can give me a moment, which you did, more than a moment, so I appreciate that. But I want to share this because for me, it's not just personal for me, but the idea that if I'm on the other side and I'm able to listen to someone's experience like that, like, people don't talk about that. You don't get to hear about that anymore.
And if we're doing the big psychological dive here, I have to say, I knew you were being that they were going along with you talking about that as a favor to you. And I knew that part of the deal in you dying based on your DNA of being a broadcaster to want to come in and talk about it, but also within the parameters of me not getting hacky shticky to make it irreverent and maybe embarrass you and the family. I was not about that. I was about just what it would be, and you conveyed it that way, of what it would be. There's a funny meme
I saw it
last
night
in
the fan club.
I unhinged my jaw when you see all the presidents in the back of the boat, and then it's like you with your head photoshopped. But it was cool. It was cool. And then, as much as I feel that happiness, and I slept well on that last night, I didn't sleep well about my haircut experience, because I walk in and I'm 60 effing years old, okay? And I go in and I walk into this barber shop shortly after the show, and it's packed on a Tuesday at noon. It's like, excuse me, is this the land of, oh, sorry, didn't realize we were on the Walking Dead schedule today. Sorry about that. I'll come back later. And I run out and I do it. And later in the afternoon, I come back. And when I walk in, the place is empty. But of course, there's one guy that looks like he literally got plucked off the set of Duck Dynasty that I'm like, I felt like saying, you're going to need some garden shears to get through that hair. And there's one barber. But I'm waiting because I've got time, and I figure they'll get to it. So right about the time he is wrapping up with this other guy, this white-haired barber comes into my barber shop. And he's not the guy I use, but I know he's been there 1,000 years. And he comes in with this, you? Yeah, like kind of points at me and goes, you? And suddenly, the 60-year-old, I turn into an 11-year-old. I go, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll get in your chair. I am immediately intimidated. I am uncomfortable. I'm 60 years old. Now I'm talking the talk where, well, my wife wants me to, and so I say, I even use a different voice. Like, my wife wants me to buzz it on the sides and keep it long on the top. I think she wants to give me a haircut that's like a longer, a young guy's haircut, even though I'm 60 years old. But that's what she wants. But it's what I wanted to.
Weird.
All right?
Weird.
It's what I wanted to. And and like in a sentence, he goes, and he said, I mean, like, what? I said, she wants short on the, really like buzzed on the side. You don't want it buzzed. And I'm like, oh, and suddenly my testicles are sucked back into my body. And I'm just completely being taken. My initiative is being taken away from me. I was like, all right, well, and then he looks at the hair, and I've had this done before. He's like, well, who cut this last? And he's got this kind of, this guy. And I'm in his chair, and I'm not going to go F off because I've been to this barber shop before. And he basically tells me he's going to cut my hair the way he wants to. And I'm looking at my hair, and my hair looks exactly like it did when I walked in there. And that's probably a good barber. A lot of hair. He cut off a lot of hair. But I'm sitting there going, I wanted to have the hot cut and I'm not talking about looking hot. I'm talking about buzzing on the sides, leave a little up on top because it's summertime and that'll be easier for maintenance. And I still am searching for either in Maine or down here, the Uber barber. And I walked out of that barber chair going, thank you very much. How much? And he charged more than my regular guy does. I remembered that too. And I was completely emasculated in this barber chair by a guy that's just going, and he's one of those guys where he looks at you when he wants to stop. He stops cutting your hair when he wants to make a point.
Hairy eyebrow.
Like, and so this kid comes in. These two kids come in. This guy is such a curmudgeon. And he said, the young barber at the far end says, okay, what do you want? And under his breath, he goes, they don't know what they want.
Oh,
they don't know what they want. And I was just
his life.
He's a hater, and but he's old. I mean, he's older. He's younger than Larry King, but he's older than everybody else. So that's what it was. And I walked out, and I look at my hair, and I'm like, okay, it's about on a scale of 10 with haircuts, with 10 being the best. I'm looking at, I got about a 4 of a haircut. What? And under normal, if I'd been sitting there with a younger barber, man or woman, I would have gone, no, this is not what I wanted. I would probably, no, I wouldn't. I'm totally intimidated.
I would look. I think the idea that you have to, I guess, and I think you caught yourself. You're like, I don't have to say my wife wants this. Just say, I want.
Right.
I want, right?
I need.
Maybe
I want a
barber,
Dodge Challenger.
Maybe your barber should take a page out of the Black Barber Shop where they have numbers. And you're like, I want a number 4.
You mean like the clippers? The clippers, like number 1, number 2?
But they can use clippers or they can use scissors. They'll ask you that at different places. Like, do you want clippers or scissors?
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
But my Black Barber Shop has 36 different haircuts. And you just point at the number and say, I would like that.
Oh,
now,
really?
Yes.
I'd love that.
Right?
I would
You're
love
like,
that.
Yeah, well, I'll take 22.
Yes.
22 looks good. 20, that looks like a Latin gentleman. That might fit me. We'll work that out. Now, contrary to that,
Rob has the same thing. He just looks at a Superman poster with Lex Luthor. That's it.
My go-to poster and my go-to barber is on vacation. So I had to go find a new haircut place. And, of course, I live in the worst area in town to get a haircut that costs less than $40.
Right.
So I call a place, like a rube, I called the Georgetown Barber. I call and I say, I'm literally, I have like an hour. Do you have time? Can I walk in? It's not complicated, please. Right before I leave for Boston. And like, of course, when you Google Georgetown Barber, they give you a barbershop in Georgetown, Texas. As I went to the place where I thought the barbershop was, and I was like, hey, I'm here.
There are other Georgetowns out there. There are other Georgetowns.
My myopic view of the world.
You are a rube.
Are you sick and tired of the same old dating scene? Dan O'Brien here to tell you we have the innovative app to help you find your true love. We call it TMOS Harmony, and we'll guarantee you'll find love with it. Tony matched with his sugar glider, Mac matched with himself, I matched with my tight shirt, and you can match with the TMOS bonus package. Who wants to swipe or click their way into love when all you have to do is listen to the TMOS bonus show? The TMOS bonus package. If it can help us pathetic interns find love, you'll be certain to find something you just can't ignore.
This will be
www.MikeOmeraShow.com. The best of O'Mara.
All right. Movie review. Went to the movies last night.
You actually went to the cinema?
Yeah, went to the cinema. Yesterday, my routine was pick my son up at the bus and then take him back to the house, then get him into his little golf outfit, and then take him over to the Coonville Central for his golf lesson. Okay. And yesterday, it was a new dude that's been working here about a little over a year. I think he's a new guy, nice kid. Ryan is the name, and these two guys hit it off like nobody hits it off. Now, Daddy's been taking him up to the driving range, but it's just like teaching your wife to play a sport, teaching your kid. Yes. The father is not going to do as well as an independent person. You hear about that's why I always hear about these coaches that coach their sons. It's like, well, the kids end up getting messed up sometimes.
Sure. There's a weird emotional investment, I think.
Is there, I guess, an equalizer for women? Like women teaching men how to cook or women teaching men how to do something?
I think it's the marital bond or the paternal bond or the maternal bond. It just, yes. Does it work occasionally?
It came back on the judges because they're teaching them to cook. That was a slight bounce.
Okay. Does it work? Sometimes I'm sure it does.
Shannon, what? I can't have Shannon teach me how to or be my yoga guru. I just can't do it.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Too close to the subject.
Whereas she has taught me so much yoga.
Yes. How to be flexible.
Exactly.
All the time. It all things. I would say that we have a good time when we go up there, right. But I'm not really, I'm not getting through what I need to get through. And this guy,
Ryan,
this dude,
Ryan Reynolds,
connected with my kid. Then I find out later he's a dad. He's got a 2-year-old. Aww. He was fantastic.
Younger guy
younger guy.
Okay.
That works too. That's where it gets right down. I didn't measure his waist. So he gets down to the level, right on Michael's level, is talking to him face to face. It was just awesome. And I get caught up in the moment that he's having fun. And then the big question, this is always the tell. I said, you want to hit, now that Ryan's left, you want to hit some more? He goes, yeah, Dad, I do.
Oh,
and I'm
cool.
like, he's taking, that was the whole idea to do that. Then we're going back and he said, can I putt a few? I said, of course you can putt a few. And then I get him in the cart and
was there any wagering?
No wagering. Get him out in the cart. We play a golf hole, and he's having a blast. And we're driving back, and I'm driving back, and I hear beep beep, and I'm like, hey, look, it's Mama coming back from skin school.
Yeah.
There she is, coming back right now. Fantastic. I will meet her when she comes by. And I drive the golf cart up the little path, and I see Mama, and this is the look that I am greeted with. Okay.
Oh, no.
That's the look. We had a babysitter at 4:00 yesterday afternoon to go to a 4:30 movie, and it's 10 after 4, and Daddy's in trouble already. Daddy's in trouble.
A little slow getting back.
Yeah, well, it should have been 3:30. Lesson ends at 4:00. Bingo, bango, back. I was tardy. She couldn't get in touch with me because of this thing.
The phone.
That never.
The phone.
I never get. I call people I don't want to, and I don't get calls that I want. That's
Mike,
the way it works with the iPhone.
Don't you know, and I don't know how they run them in Florida, but here there's at least 25 minutes of sheer trailers.
Yes, I say that. Okay. And we're going, and then, I reached critical mass where I'm getting browbeaten for that, and then it's just something. Well, then in that case, why don't we just turn around? and then of course the car goes into the turns around, and then we work it out on the way back.
Yeah. I've been at school all day. How dare you?
That's right.
Yeah. I was just all I was doing was taping
Been
3 shows
parenting all day.
and playing daddy daycare.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing. Is that's all I was doing. So we turn around and we still it was probably 2 minutes old when we walked into the theater.
Okay.
We go into the theater and we go to see the brand new Jennifer Lopez vehicle, Hustlers.
Hustlers, yeah.
Where
A
she
brand
plays
new movie.
She plays the stripper.
Yes.
Yay. And,
A popular movie, getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, number
getting
2
a lot
last
of
week.
buzz
Yeah.
and a lot of great reviews. And the co-star in that movie is the lady from Crazy Rich Asians, the love interest in Crazy Rich Asians. So she's in it too. And I've been a fan of the movie acting skills of Jennifer Lopez forever. And I was also in New York during the time period they're talking about, so I know the drill, and I heard the stories about guys that would go in, and the long and short of it, these are women that after the 2008 crash are drumming up business for the strip joint by roofing guys and getting them into the club and then running up their credit cards, and it's bad. It's illegal.
Was there some Swisher Sweet Uggs involved? I thought that Cardi B.
You mean the Swisher Sweet Uggs like we were watching on the Sarah Fraser? And
No.
the AJ pictures that we have?
If I'm not, and I could be wrong, but I thought Cardi B was part of this production.
I think she was consulted, wasn't she?
Cardi B plays one of the Twipper Willie just like it.
None of you
Thank you.
bitches exclusive Swisher Sweets Hub.
Cardi B.
What's poppin'?
There's that voice.
What was the premise of and maybe you can help me out here.
Yeah.
Was it because of the recession that guys were like, F it, I'm going to strip clubs? Or what was the...
All right. When you go to a film, one has to suspend disbelief to
True.
a certain extent. And, of course, there is that thing called artistic license. Where,
Yes.
So
They walk hand in hand, Mike.
Did I like the movie? I really did. I loved
Did you
Jennifer
recognize
Lopez.
the clubs?
No, because they all kind of look the same.
Oh.
But I think they're supposed to be New York joints.
Like Scores.
And I think that the Scores was the place where they were supposed to be centering. And I've been to Scores.
That's what I was asking.
And,
I had
and
heard.
so, and I
Store.
remember,
Folklore.
I think the celebrity setting I had at Scores one time was Dennis Quaid. I think I saw
that's
Dennis
massive.
Quaid.
That's a
in
massive
Scores.
celebrity setting.
But even back then,
Definitely
and I
better
would
than
be-
Randy, Mike.
What's that?
Better than
Randy. I would probably have considered Scores to be, even in those days, out of my zip code. It was just out of my, it was such a, I think that the atmosphere was so financially difficult and so financially charged that, you could lose a lot of money in there. And it was known. I went in there. No, this story is the story of these
dancers.
These dancers that would lure the guys in and then rack up these amazing bills. And I think that the guys that they talked about were guys that probably spent a lot of time in those.
Okay,
That's
all
the
right.
way. That's the impression that I got. But
The lady from Crazy Rich Asians, Constant Wu, I found out her name is.
Constance Wu. Yeah.
Was she a dancer as well?
Yes, she plays
Oh, wow.
a dancer as well. And it's first of all, the first thing everybody notices in the movie is Jennifer Lopez and just looking amazing as she always does. She's extremely, you can take all the glom squads you want, but the basic palette is a woman who is so fabulously fit, has a dancer's body, and looks great. Now, with that said, I will tell you that the comment I made to my wife when we were leaving was, yeah, I liked it. I just found it, how do I put this delicately? When you walk into one of these joints, let's just say that there's not as much covering up as the movie showed us.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Like you go into one of these joints and it's
It depends on the municipality.
Well,
you're
the
in.
New York environment.
Oh, okay,
that we were-
they're
that we
all
were talking
they're all
about.
nude.
Yeah.
It's they're naked
think.
bodies.
So
walking
they're
around
thinking
all
ahead
over.
to
You
when
think.
it's going to
You
be
wouldn't
on-
know that personally.
I actually,
Oscar.
I don't think I've ever been to a strip club in New York.
Well, I spent a lot more
It's
time
on my bucket
in New
list,
York
though.
than you did, and I was lonely, and it was a dark time for me. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of my behavior, but this movie was I think it should have shown the seediness of it. The
Would that have
sexually
added-
charged?
Do you think that would have added to the theme?
For most people that have never been in one of those joints, it's probably fine for them. But I was just looking at, that didn't really happen. But anyway,
They're definitely looking forward to repeat showings in 2 years on TNT.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely. They can show it on TV.
Probably not the best term, but they glamorized it.
They definitely glamorized
Sanitized
it a bit. They sanitize. Well, but then when you're talking about what was happening after the recession, which I didn't know about. You've always heard that song, "No Sex in the Champagne Room."
Yes.
Well, apparently, once the bottom fell out of the Wall Street situation, there was sex in the champagne room, according to this article. It's a movie based on an article, and what it is kind of like a Wall Street. It's the go-go times, and then figuring out a way to get through the tough times, and life
What
getting
year was
great
it?
again,
What year was
and the
it
fall
set
from
in?
grace. Takes the late 2000s, like 2008,
When the housing bubble.
14, 15.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I think the acting is fantastic in it. And Cardi B is good in it, although a very small role. And Jennifer Lopez is the lead and kind of the henchman, and she's great. She's fantastic.
Is it Academy Award worthy?
No, I don't think so. I think you could. Is there the possibility that J-Lo could get a nod? Yeah, there is. I think I think she's a good actress. I think I've always liked her in the
They do
movies.
10 noms for the best picture now. Do you think it would be even in contention for that? With 10?
Don't
Nom,
know.
nom, nom, nom.
If they do, it would be. Look, I liked it. Is it entertaining? Was it a watch checker? No, it wasn't. It was interesting, and you do feel through half the movie that something's going to happen. It's just going too well. Something's going to happen. And what's the other thing I wanted to say?
How do you watch it with your wife?
What do you mean?
Because I know that I can't drive and look around and Shan's like, oh, I saw you check out that. Like I'm a human being. I'm a man, right? So I'm
a man, flesh and
I
bone.
pretend to look elsewhere and then look.
You get caught.
Yeah. So there's no way. It could be the most attractive person in the world, and I just keep looking straight because it's not worth any drama.
Well, in real life, I do that.
Yes.
I mean, and I get caught still, as all men do. You get caught, like I'll be in Walmart,
Sure.
and it'll be like a FGCU move-in day, and she said, "What are you looking at?" Penance,
Liquid soap.
Penance.
Per plus, it's on sale. So, let me ask
So
you.
we just sit there and we take it, and Carla's kind of cool with that,
Yeah.
and she would, we always clear what the other person wants to see, and so, but she didn't like it. She didn't like the movie. I liked it more, and we didn't really get into an argument about it. It was a tough day
when
anyway.
Shannon ran the yoga studio, when she was the operations manager there, she would always ask me, "Why don't you come and hang out?" Because like some of the other instructors' husbands/boyfriends would hang out in this lobby and say hello, and they get off work and just go sit there and work on their laptops. And I would say they're all looking at the girls that walk by. Like, I'm not trying to tell you their business. Good for them.
Right.
But they're not being these wonderful boyfriends that come after work, dressed in their suits, on their laptops.
No, they're on the nickel tour.
They're doing what every other man would do if they could, is walk over, and I'm not going to be part of that party right now. I'm so
That's why
sorry.
It was really awkward for me when I went to the yoga studio uninvited, and somebody said, "Are you waiting for someone?" And I went, "Nope."
Romeo and Juliet, Antony and Cleopatra, Bogey and Bacall. Add to that list another one of the world's greatest love stories, Mike and Carla O'Mara. Their love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Their love is like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. And nowhere is that love story more on display than the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Yes, fall in love with love again and again
with a Mike O'Mara bonus show subscription. Lovingly tap the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com and order the TMOS bonus show today. You'll love it, just like Carla loves Mike.
The best of O'Mara.
I come to you today as someone who thinks that I was a successful birthday husband yesterday. Thank you.
You know what?
That is a big win.
It ain't an
It
easy
is a
task. It's not an easy task, and it gets harder
think
as
I
years
pick up
roll
from
on.
other people, including my wife, and I will tell you that either I'm getting older and I'm not as fleet of foot, but it was I seem to remember that what I accomplished yesterday prior to her birthday. And by the way, the big issues for her birthday were taken care of. We were going to the cheapest restaurant in town. The Iguaneria, and so I mean that's easy peasy, and it's a place I like.
Yes,
and so that was done, and we knew who was going to come, and it was fine. So my job was really
how are
to
the
just
margaritas?
They I think Daddy dumped 3 into his belly.
Nice. That's a lot of frozen products.
How big are they?
So they're not that big. To be, I could lie and say
You've seen the
drank-
cartoon
they're-
size guys, right?
They're not cartoon size.
Okay.
No.
Are they
They're
in
not,
glass?
But they are
Like a
they're in
goblet?
little. It's a beautiful little. It almost looks like a little rock.
Do they come
glass
with
that
2
it's in.
straws so you can share them?
Oh yeah,
No,
like
because it's
Lady
not
and the
that big.
Tramp.
But it's got a little
We're in
lime
love.
on it and a little salt on the rim. By the way, and during the summer on Mondays,
Yes.
for the alcoholics that want to get their week started drinking,
Yeah.
$1. And if you find in the United States of America
$1.
a better deal, by the way, someday a dream of mine
Amazing.
would be for me. Excuse my voice. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Would be for me to get a local Florida sponsor, and that would be the top of the. It would be that and Billy Facilla.
If you don't have
Other than that, I'd be happy.
if you
What
don't
about-
have $1, would they accept an AA chip?
What about a remote from Iguaneria?
Remote from Iguaneria,
Yes.
where we booked the whole place one day, and we
Do they
bring
have-
listeners.
they
in
have Wi-Fi,
from
no
Florida
doubt. They've
in
got to have
in
Wi-Fi.
in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I
We
think
could
it would
pull
be
that
a
off.
reasonable thing, and we could
That
do
would
that.
be, of
That would
all the
be-
places we would do a remote from. The
And
idea that we
do
would
it.
go on a Monday night
Yes.
Yes.
to Iguaneria would be
very
so
exciting.
perfect for this show.
The only hard part would be for the flight down, Oscars.
By the way,
checking our sombreros.
we are very close to socializing with the manager over there because we're that close.
Are you
We're
one
good
manager away?
I met her man yesterday, shook hands with him.
Oh.
Seems like a super cool guy, big guy, tough looking guy. Really liked him. You know when you like somebody, I mean, I literally met this guy as he was dropping her off, as he was picking her up in a car, shook his hand, met his son, and was just like, we like this lady.
How
We-
many
we-
tier tattoos did he have?
I
2 or
didn't,
3?
I didn't observe. I did
Okay.
not observe.
How
that,
old
but he
is the
seemed
son?
like a good guy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like, is he in the age of Michael
He's
3?
probably the end of elementary school.
Little
Like,
Michael?
I-
So he
Oh,
couldn't play
nice.
with little
fourth,
Mike.
fifth grader, that type of thing.
Okay.
So I
always
love
feel
the
like
joint.
Breaking Bad's
and
happening,
Oh, it's fine.
that's the cool part that's done. So my only mission yesterday was to make the birthday free of a dog. Because and look, and I know there's that listener going out there. I knew he wouldn't get the dog. I knew he wouldn't get. I'm not rolling into the pet deal where they're putting too many zeros on the price
Hey,
of
a dog
puppies now.
A dog is a lousy pet. I mean, a lousy gift
Whoa.
to give as I misspoke. A pet is a lousy gift.
That was a Freudian slip of Freudian. You
Couldn't
love
be.
Linus,
I
but
love-
maybe you don't love
No,
Linus.
Linus is the best. But
right.
a pet is a nasty gift because if you were to give her a pet, that's
Yeah.
giving responsibility to yourself.
Yeah, well, especially with her at school.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean, but also
Unless the
really,
dog needs to have some backplaning done.
I did a deep dive on the internet.
Yeah.
I did a deep dive. I mean, I did a deep dive. Even the rescues ask for money.
Yeah.
Say, what the F is that about? If I'm
Yeah.
rescuing, what are you making me go into pocket?
You're
for with
rescuing their
that?
bank accounts.
Yeah.
I'm planning to go in the pocket for the rest of my
Yeah.
life if I rescue this dog. So I'm doing deep dives. And by the way, the shelter dogs. Look, I have tremendous respect for people that adopt dogs, but the shelter dogs, and correct me if I'm wrong, does not every shelter dog look exactly the same?
Yes.
Like
I don't know
18
that for
different
sure.
dogs
I don't
had
know
sex?
that for sure.
Yeah, and good luck with
Right?
them not running away from you in traffic. We've been down that road before.
With with the ears like
Yeah,
this,
one
they all
ear
look
up.
like they all look like a beagle banged a pit bull. They
Yeah.
all do. Every single one of them looks
Not the pop
same
singer.
way. And by the way, and the difference between they look like beagles mixed with something, but here in
Can we be clear? And can I
in
help
Fort Myers proper, it was pitbull, 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 pitbull. And they call him now the American bulldog, right? Because
Yes.
they don't want to say
That's-
pitbull.
yeah, you know what you
If they
should do,
say
Mike?
Pitbull,
You've got, time after the show today. Why don't you go out and capture a dog?
dog catcher?
They had a small over on the other side of the
Butterfly net.
state. On the other side of the state, they had small dog rescue. They had like little dogs, but they were all kind of like, you got a lot of this.
Yeah.
A lot of the,
It's the-
with the eyes just kind of
Are you
floating up
seeing
there.
them
The
at the
canine-
shelter or on the internet?
On the internet.
Okay,
On the
okay.
internet.
So that's like
Yeah,
that's their beauty shot.
Okay,
That's their,
got
but
it.
what you've got over there, Mike, is you've got the canine equivalent of a girl with daddy issues. This is not a dog you want to bring into your home.
That's it. Hit the alarm for yourself
sorry,
right there,
You'll
pal.
play fetch with the dog, but you won't bring her home.
She
love
pulled
you, I
off
love
the
you, I
French
love you.
bulldog.
I love
She
you.
backed off the
Gotta
French bulldog, which was cool. She backed off of that and
Yes.
said, even if it was this is thinking about a companion for Frankie. Right now, Frankie's companion is me, and I'm cool with that.
That's good.
All right, I'm fine with that.
Man's best friend. Huh?
So it was off to compensate for the lack of dog, and so I was going to do what I've done before, which is a group of smaller gifts.
Oh,
so she's got a lot of openers.
Are you
so I go up to
saying-
the outlet store.
Are you
What?
saying you got a plethora of pinatas?
I got a plethora of pinatas. I went to the outlet place, and by the way, it was searing here yesterday.
Yeah.
It was searing. It was the kind of heat where you get out of your car and you already begin to sweat. The kind of sweat that maybe people don't realize down here, where you're just walking and you feel the water
Rolling.
going down your back.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's back sweat. That's real sweat right there.
Now,
It's
when you go
amazing.
to that, you say the outlet place. Is it an outlet mall with a series of stores that you have
Yes.
to leave each store
Yes.
to go down some grand
And
promenade?
it's fantastic. I love the place. I mean, it's great. I knock out a lot of stuff. Yesterday, it looked like perhaps the slow death of retail store locations
Yes.
might be biting this place a little bit. That when the people go home and they're not here, they're all here like in the winter. So it slows down.
Any for
But I
rent
was off.
signs?
What?
Any
For
for
lease.
rent
For
signs or
lease.
for lease?
Yeah, couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, more than one.
Well, the
more than
Crocs,
two or three.
the Crocs outlet had to go.
Yeah, well, the Crocs. That might have been. Was that? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm walking around and I go to one store, get a nice little dress. I get a nice
A
little
dress?
purse.
You can shop dresses for your
You
wife?
bet your ass I can. Yeah,
Man.
absolutely.
And
I
not
got
just
a
for his
cheap
wife.
dress for her.
I would not even.
Well, I wear them too. I go to.
How do you know how to shop dresses for your wife? I don't
I
even. I
know.
couldn't even.
It's easy.
Start. I couldn't even. Easy.
I have purchased clothing for my wife forever.
Do you shop for your
That might
daughter
be a little known-
sizes?
Huh?
You shop for your. It's like you shop for your teenage daughter, so you know how to shop for your wife.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I'll buy clothes for my daughters too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If you know a size, you go in, you find something you like, and then you buy it.
Isn't every brand a different size?
You're generally right.
Oscar, you might be aware of the fact that I was a part-time dad.
Yes.
I was a part-time dad, dude. Okay, so I did a lot of shopping. I did a lot of shopping on Daughter Day.
Yes.
I
To
did.
compensate
I did a
for the
lot of that.
time off.
Yeah, we'd hang out. What do you need? That was my thing.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I will roll in and I see, and,
Share
then,
my
and
dad.
then we go through, and the art of retail.
I got
is,
beat. Getting yelled at is better than that.
Now, the retail morning started badly when I was sent out prior to 6:15 a.m. to the Mart of Wall to buy Ambisol because my son had a cut on his lip.
We remember
and was
that. How's he
experiencing
doing?
Pain.
How's he doing?
He's doing it. He didn't even need it. He didn't even. It was one of those things. But I went out because I'm a good dad that way, and I come back. And by the way, even at 6 a.m, I found the checker. I said, I know why you're here at this hour because this is the only time they'll put you here because you couldn't move slower. This could not be a slower checkout. It was impossible.
Don't get me
to make
started.
It slow.
Don't get me started. I was because you know
You'll
what?
get to yours later. You will get to yours later.
I know.
but
I was
it's-
such a good checker.
yes.
I was such a good checker.
Well, she was glacial. So I go out and I get a series of what I think are nice gifts: a shirt, a pair of pants, a dress, and a purse combination.
Like
Okay?
back to school.
That's multiple.
Happy
gifts.
birthday, darling! I got you pants.
But the killer. Okay?
Wear
This is
this
it.
to your first day of school.
This is the killer. And this is why I'm so glad we have the world's greatest convenience store next door. The place that has put more Americans probably out of work than any other chain,
Yes.
the Mart of Wall again.
Mhm. Sure,
And
Walmart.
I go in, and I found the novelty item, which was the supersized, cartoon-sized wine glass that I picked
smart.
up on. Well, I'll sneak it in to a Guanaria and have them sneak the margarita into that.
That is
that'll
so
be perfect.
thoughtful.
Fantastic.
That is
And-
thoughtful.
And I bought her a birthday sash.
It's
You know?
like a
Oh,
Miss
that's
America.
nice.
Nothing screams the 1% other than walking into a chain Mexican restaurant with a lighted birthday sash.
A
on.
lighted sash.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm not a man that needs any more money, okay?
No.
Because you know what? I'm very comfortable with that.
You've got
with
everything.
with my trashy
You
little
really got
existence down
everything.
here.
You had the whimsical nature of the oversized wine glass and
Yes,
the
I did.
practicality of pants. You
Yes.
really covered the gamut.
Had the sash that, and then
That's fun.
and by the way, 90s. This is where the Mart of Wall works.
Yes.
The gift bags that I put the presents in,
Yeah.
97 cents each. Okay, you want to know why Walmart is waxing the combination, the competition? Excuse me.
We can't
That's
compete.
why.
Is,
Buying
uh,
power.
This is the buying power.
Birthday girl the kind of girl that will save the gift bag, or will she throw it away?
I'm not really sure about that. I don't know about that. She should.
How
They're
much-
perfectly reusable.
How much of the wine
Or return
glass was filled?
The when
no.
you put the regular margarita, let me add on to that. all
Okay,
right?
okay.
I didn't have the wherewithal because of where we parked to really go through the whole sneaky thing.
A charade.
Oh,
So
gosh,
when we
okay.
got to the place, I had snuck the wine glass and the sash and the other novelty item that I'll get to in a minute into the back of the car. And I said, look, I'm not going to do the thing. I can't hide this.
Yeah.
Walking in, and I don't
Don't
wanna,
look in the
'cause we're
back
going,
seat.
This shirt is
I
too
said-
tight.
This is I'm going to present you now with your margarita glass. And I gave her the big birthday girl.
Aw.
Or happy birthday
Yeah.
on her glass. It might be around here somewhere.
Did
I might be
she
able to show it to you.
wear
I'd
the
love to see
sash
it.
to dinner?
She did. And that's why
No,
Carla's
Carla's
good.
game.
Now listen.
She's like,
you
of
can't-
course. Let's go.
But you can't do this in a, I don't know, in a shishi joint.
You wouldn't
can
want
do it-
to.
Yeah, it's like
No,
it's
no,
so
no, no,
cash,
no,
it's
no.
so great.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the table, I whipped out the packet of paper cardboard happy birthday glasses that everybody at the table.
Aw.
That's fantastic. And what would have been great is when the
I'm
waiter
an
came
idiot.
over.
I'm a rube idiot. I gave the
super
Chinese
sweet.
like $50.
It's super
It was
sweet.
great.
That is awesome.
sweet.
And what would have been great is if the waiter came over and says, "Is someone having a birthday?" And Carla says, "No."
Yeah.
Can we get a female's perspective? Look, as a guy, I'm like, man, you went all out. It's thoughtful gifts.
Yes.
As a woman, I don't know how I would feel about this. I think Carla probably loved it, but
Yeah,
Maddie,
if she didn't, Carla will not BS me
No.
if there's disappointment. That's one thing she won't hold back. So I believe her when she tells me. She said it this morning. She said, "What a great birthday."
Well, that's
she said it when she
perfect.
woke up.
That's
this
great.
morning.
Maddie is in a wonderful relationship, and I'm
Yes.
sure that she's still young, still ready to be surprised
Are
by
you
her.
still
get
with
it.
that? What's his name? John.
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 John,
Yes.
John. She says it's John. Yeah.
What's his name?
John.
You're terrible.
Is
All right.
John, if John did something, I guess, thoughtful and wonderful like this, are you into this, or what's your type of birthday?
It really depends. I'm all for just a really nice dinner. I don't wear
cheese based.
Yeah, always cheese. Really nice chocolate. I have really. I'm a foodie, so I have nice
Okay.
taste in food, but I don't really
right.
wear jewelry, so I'm pretty easy in that regard. So,
Where do you weigh in on sashes?
gotta have them. It's not a birthday without a sash.
Look at
So
that.
you were
see?
you approve of the sash? The sash I thought might not go over, but the sash was she
Big hit.
immediately put it on with a big grin on her face.
Yeah.
It was hysterical, and she wore her birthday glasses like for the entire time. But of
Yeah.
course, you get enough margaritas in somebody,
Yeah.
you're all set.
Were your birthday
this is
glass-
Why this place? I hate to keep going and going, and they don't advertise on it.
No.
but this is why this place is so great.
Remote.
Because it's simple drink,
Remote,
simple food,
remote,
simple,
remote,
remote.
Were your
Small
birthday
local-owned
glasses?
chain? They'd probably go for it.
Were
What?
your birthday glasses prescription?
No, they didn't have holes where the car
Mike, where's the
So,
glass?
Maddie, you're cool with that? You think it's okay what I did?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Good.
Where is the glass? Where is the
All
glass?
right, I'll go get the glass. Let me see if I can.
Hello, parishioners. It's me, Uncle Baby Billy Freeman. I want to thank all of you that have supported me by purchasing my Baby Billy's Health Elixir. Blessings to all of you. But I've recently discovered something that's even more potent, and it's my God-given duty to tell you about it. It's the Michael Mara Show on TikTok. Beautiful, funny, spiritually uplifting, bite-sized clips of your favorite podcast. Perfect for yourself and for sharing with the congregation of your life. It's based on ancient scriptures and heals colds, flus, straps, even COVIDs. Just search TikTok for Michael Mara Show and follow us. Heal the spirit to heal the body. Michael Mara Show on TikTok. It's your salvation. Or my name isn't Walton Goggins. Baby Billy Freeman. Amen.
The best of O'Mara.
There are guys around the country right now. They're like, okay, I can take this out of his playbook.
This is going to be the big thing this year.
If your wives don't listen to this show, listen to me, gentlemen. Listen to you right now.
Oscar's talking.
Don't have time. Don't care enough to deal with this. Take this playbook. Use it as your own.
Now X's and O's.
And if it's Walmart, they got it on the Walmart tab on michaelmarashow.com. Order it there. Let it come to the house.
I don't think Carrie would wear a sash. Do you think Shannon would wear a sash?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. A light up sash?
My wife is fun.
Yeah, that's true. What's that like? Sash equals fun. Sash is not equal to 22 years of marriage.
No, well, I also believe that if it's unexpected, Mike's not like a sash guy, right?
Right.
So when a non-sash guy offers their wife a sash, that's different. You're a sash guy.
I guess
you
I
want
am.
all the attention.
Oh, well, no, but
you love the attention.
But I would love the attention to be put on the birthday person.
Yes.
You see, I'm the one that will go to the maitre d' and say, embarrass them.
Embarrass this woman.
Embarrass this woman.
I don't know where she hid the glass. I can't find it, but I brought
she took it to work, maybe.
I brought our babysitter Carmen's gift.
Oh.
Because I don't know. I've never seen this hooch before.
Let's see
it.
It's
But she brought this.
I like
boy,
this.
that's good booze.
All right, let me hold this up. So this is Sheridan's.
Oh, my God.
Sheridan's
quite a bottle.
coffee layered liqueur.
Wow.
So you see it's got two sides?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she poured a little of this, and this stuff was the bomb.
You know what that's probably like? What is that?
Kahlua and cream?
No, that coffee liqueur that's popular in Maine that you drink with half and half. I can't think of it.
Sure, I know what you're
You
talking
know what I mean?
about.
And it's a very popular Maine drink, and that's got the half and half and the liqueur together.
That's an elaborate glass bottle.
The bottle itself
Isn't
is
it?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Sheridan's coffee layered liqueur.
The last time
a product of Ireland.
Last time I saw a bottle like that was, I think the first time I ever saw a bottle of Aftershock.
What is Aftershock?
Yeah, what is Aftershock?
So
What is that?
Aftershock, oh my God. You guys had to have drank this liqueur or liquor.
Okay.
Aftershock?
Yes, it was a cinnamon.
Never heard of it.
A cinnamon flavored, I guess, liquor.
Like Fireball?
Like Fireball, before Fireball was even popular. But at the bottom was crystals of candy of the bottle that looked like the son of Jarrell's home, that you would see all these like stalactites of candy.
It sounds
Do
a
they
little bit
still
like
make this stuff?
I don't know. It was like a college drink, and if you had a bottle of Aftershock, there was going to be problems.
I think, Mike, if we go way back, even to when you were a kid, there was a novelty booze or a kind of booze called Rock and Rye, which was rock candy in rye whiskey.
See, missed that one too.
But Mike, what we're looking for
led a
is
sheltered life.
Allen's coffee flavored brandy.
That's the stuff.
And it's very popular in Maine. You drink it over rocks with half and half. And it's a beautiful, low sugar, low fat drink.
Thomas Sheridan and Sons, Nangor Road, Dublin, product of Ireland. There it is. And this stuff.
We have a birthday coming up soon in the show. We've had all our birthdays, right?
Maddie, when's your birthday?
December.
Oh, that's right. We celebrated with trees and holly and the whole deal, right?
Are we going to have a holiday party this year, Mike? And are you going to be able to come up for it?
You mean come up to DC?
Yeah, for Christmas.
Our holiday party, yes.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
As you know from your many years here, there's nothing like Christmas in Washington, D.C.
It's beautiful.
Imagine
it's a
little
beautiful
Michael
thing.
seeing the national tree, walking around.
Yeah, the tree is
I'd take
walking
him right
around.
down.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
Yeah,
Every state has its own tree. It's like a sub tree to the national Christmas tree.
does?
Yes, there's
Do
50
you guys
trees
go to
that surround it.
Sarasota?
Why did you mention Sarasota? Do you have telepathy or something? Because Sarasota, I've been looking at Sarasota. Great school systems up there.
Oh. Check if they have fiber.
But, you know,
Fiber's a bigger issue in the neighborhood where he lives
Fiber
in
optics.
now.
Fiber optics.
Fiber optics. I will. That'll
Please.
Look, long way away. Talking years. But thinking, I mean, our neighbors came down and they said they're looking at this place. And
I thought it was in
looked at what
Tampa. They
were looking
like
at.
no.
No. They showed it's around Sarasota, and I was in Sarasota up at the Manatee Museum.
I was going to say, it's very close to the
laboratory,
the aquarium,
the seaquarium. So, to make a long story short, this was successful. She was happy, and did I mention that? I even bought a cake. I bought a cake for Carla, and we had it before we went with all the other people to Iguana Mia. We presented her with the cake.
Quite European. Dessert before dinner.
When I picked the cake, because I love the color red, it was a white cake, sheet cake with the red piping around the side.
Sure.
I said, I like that one. And she said, well, that's a little boy's cake. I said, yeah, that's probably why I like it. Comes with a toy. I said, well, I happen to have a little boy who would love a toy, so just put her name on it, okay? And stop fighting me as I'm trying to buy something. Oh, by the way, when I first got over to the Walmart bakery department, by the way, she likes Walmart cake. There's a thing.
Well,
It's a
toy
Walmart
on the
cake.
side. Everybody
I'm pure
wins.
trash.
Yeah.
I'm pure trash. I've cemented that right
Like,
now.
no.
I never, if I hit the lottery, I don't want to go back to the other half. I don't want to do that.
Who
I don't
knows
want to
what
go back there.
who wants to live that way with all that stress?
I like the idea of doing it. And by the way, the guy that came around the corner when I went to the bakery counter to get Happy Birthday Carla put on top of this cake, this guy, let me see if I can describe him. All right. Picture the guy, whatever the name of the actor is that's on the Righteous Gemstones that plays Baby Billy. Baby Billy, all right, take the teeth back. Take the good teeth out. Okay. All right, take the good teeth away. Shake about, not the white hair because he's a young guy, so take 30 or 40 pounds off of it. And he comes around, and this guy looked like, seriously, you'd see him on a Ring doorbell can stealing UPS packages. This guy
what you
comes
need
around.
to do, though, is you need to see the most recent episode of Gemstones.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a flashback episode to 1989. So Baby Billy is young.
And they make him
when he's
look
singing,
younger.
Yeah.
And she creeps me out when she does that singing with him.
Oh, I know.
Doing that clogging.
You
It's
saw
like-
the episode.
Walter
Yeah,
Goggins.
I watched the Righteous Gemstones.
Oh,
now. I'm
God,
watching that
yes,
show.
What do you
yes,
got?
yes, yes.
Misbehaving.
Misbehaving. We're misbehaving.
Isn't it a fun show?
I love it.
And of course, the older brother doesn't want the younger brother. Like very definitively. John Goodman, they make look young pretty well.
Yeah.
right?
He
did a
They
good
do
with
that.
the hair,
It's
yeah.
a good show. It's the TMOS pick to click now is the Righteous Gemstone. So I know I'm rambling in 20 different directions, but
So Walter
the
Goggins comes up to you.
this guy is he's sketchy looking, like,
Oh,
but he's
dear.
got a hairnet on, and I'm like, can I get this cake decorated? And what was his answer? I should have written it down. I should have said, he said something along the lines of, well, I can, but I'm not really good at it.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
like, that was right out of a TV commercial. And then right about that time, the old lady comes around and he skulks back to where they're, making rolls or something
and
like
then
that.
he says,
and
misbehaving.
and she does a great job with Happy Birthday, Carl. And it was a Spider-Man cake.
There you go.
So Michael got a little Spider-Man belt buckle, like a plastic belt buckle. So
Did it already
everybody's
say
happy.
happy birthday, or did she have to write just Carla?
She had
or
to
at
have the whole thing. And
How
she
was
did it
her?
beautifully.
How was her penmanship?
Flawless.
Nice.
Yeah, she was a veteran. She'd
she'd done it
this.
before, yeah.
She'd done it. In fact, they probably brought her in. She's probably one of the employees over there, unlike the land of the misfit toys, where they actually brought. By the way, go to your local Walmart when they first open up. They're like, okay, hi, how you doing? Rocky Road. Okay, yeah, you can work here at the self checkout.
Our manager is a lion named King Moon Racer.
We gathered all these people at the Walmart. Nobody likes a slow checker. Yeah, so it was fine, and it was a trashy, delightful, happy birthday, and I prefer to bitch about my own birthday, but be a success when I'm the one providing the birthday.
Well,
That's the
Mike,
way
if I may, I don't want to highlight this, but I will because I'm your friend. Everything that was done for you was done in Maine was done for her.
Yeah, I know.
She
Yeah,
was just a
it's
lot more
true.
gracious about it.
Want more? Make sure you check out The Michael Marabona Show. Get it at michaelmarashow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.